Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This is another episode in the deck walkthrough series, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And please don't forget to watch the previous videos that I have done on the Rider-Waite decks. I will put the links to Amazon and eBay so that you can purchase this deck if you like. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave me some comments if you find this video quite helpful. So, the Psychic Tarot deck is a hybrid between the Tarot and Oracle decks. It's a 65 card deck, and it comes with a guidebook, and it is a deck that has been produced by John Holland, and it's under the Hay House publishers, this deck. So the box itself is pretty sturdy. It's really nicely done. It's a very hardy kind of box itself. It comes in blue and sort of light blue and dark blue. It's got the names, the Psychic Tarot written on it in gold. It's got a little bit of information in the back about the deck itself and about John Holland, who is actually a psychic medium that has produced this particular deck. And yeah, it's really nice. I really love this box. You know, you can transport your cards in it, and it keeps them going for quite a bit. You know, it's not going to get destroyed, so you know they're going to last you for quite a while. The inside of the box has got this pattern, the fractal river paradigm design on the inside in gray. That's on both sides of it. You can see, quite pretty. And that same fractal river paradigm is represented on the back of the cards as well. So you've got the cards themselves, which are all color coordinated, and they've got gold gilding on the edges over there, gold gilding. And you know, this fractal river paradigm picture on the back with a bluish kind of border, or purpley kind of border. And we'll talk about the cards just now. So it comes with a really nice book itself. And my book has been really well worn. I really have enjoyed using this deck a lot. It has been a really great stepping stone between just learning the Rider-Waite system and then bringing your readings up to a higher notch, because it uses so much of psychic intuition in the reading of this deck. So even if you're somebody who has, if you're somebody who has absolutely no idea on the tarot, and you want to have something that can just give you quick answers, this is the deck to actually use. It's a good deck for spiritual growth as well. So very important that, you know, because it taps into your psychic intuition. So anybody picking up the cards who has, you know, everybody has psychic intuition at the end of the day, and so anybody, I think, that picks up this deck can actually read it without having to have extensive studying going along. But having said that, the guidebook itself is absolutely brilliant, I think. And it's really a nice thick book. It comes, let's see, it's got 169 pages, so a pretty thick book. But a nice size. You can keep it in your hand, put it in your bag, in your purse. It's not going to be heavy or anything like that. And you know, if you're having a 5-minute break somewhere, you can sit and read it, because it's got so much of insight and information in it. It's just well worth the read. Absolutely well worth the read. My book has been attacked by my cats, as you can see, and I hope it doesn't fall apart. But you know, I really used this book quite a bit. It's a really brilliant guidebook. So it comes, it tells you how to start. So it starts with a table of contents talking about the major arcana, the minor arcana. It also shows the chakra cards. So that's the structure of the book. It gives you a little introduction, as well as tells you a little bit about spreads, which are quite good. You know, easy spreads. They're not complicated things, you know, where you're going to have to do research on it. So it's just really interesting and quite usable spreads as well. So they've got a 3-card spread here, a 5-card spread here, and a yearly spread. You know, basically that's what you want, a calendar spread kind of thing. It tells you about, it gives you a bit of information about psychic development and clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, and about the different colors of the deck, because this is a very, very colorful deck in itself. So all the colors mean something. And, that's why it's so attractive, because it's such a colorful deck. The actual book structure itself starts off with the major arcana cards. It tells you that. And it goes through the Fool plus the 21 major arcana cards. And it's got a little picture, if you see, in black and white, which is the picture of the card. And it also gives you the title and what the name of the card is. Tells you about the card itself, and tells you what the original name of the card was. So 0, although it's been renamed as New Beginnings, was actually the Fool to begin with. So that's really important. These retitlements, I think, are more apt or are better to read the Major Arcana with than the actual old ways of reading it, which is like, the Fool and the High Priestess. But they retitled them, so they're calling them awareness and intuition, like the High Priestess here is intuition, which is exactly what the High Priestess is about. So it goes through that Major Arcana and gives you quite a, really nice, good information about the Major Arcana itself. Not too long, but just very succinct points about what is going through, what every single card is. And then it's got the Minor Arcana cards. Now the Minor Arcana cards, it shows, has got really four suits of 9 cards each. So it's different from the traditional Rider-Waite deck, because it doesn't have 10, Page, Knight, Queen, and King in the actual deck itself. It's just got 1 to 9, and it gives you all the meanings of it. These Minor Arcana cards are also retitled, but they are also color coordinated. And in the front, in the beginning of each suit, you can see what each one stands for. So there's a red border, that's the physical, and you've got the green border, which is the emotional, which would be similar to the Cups suit. And then you've got the indigo border, which is mental, which would be similar to the Swords suit. And you've got the violet color, which would be similar to the Rods suit. So it's got 9 cards, and they're all retitled, and they've got little pictures of the card in the book. So you don't even have to take the cards with you if you're reading a book. You can actually look at the picture and you know exactly what you're reading about, so that when you come back to the deck itself, you can actually see it. So this deck has also got 7 chakra cards on it, and this is really good because it gives you also a picture of the chakras in black and white, though, and what each particular key facts about the chakra. So for instance, the base chakra is got the color red. The sound associated with it is lamb. The element is earth. The body part associated with is the adrenal gland, and the key word that is associated with the base chakra is I have. So this deck gives you the chakra cards, and it tells you also, which shows you like where your energies are blocked, if they appear in the spread, and it gives you ways on how to actually unblock these chakras. It tells you what the blocked chakra is affecting, and where the chakra is, what it's affecting, and how to actually unblock the chakras or balance your chakra as well, what you should be doing for that. So it's more like a treatment for your problem as well. So it gives you what the problem is. It tells you how to cure your problem. It also, at the end of the book, it gives you books that you can actually, a good recommended resource books. These are all really very good books that you can actually look through if you want to further your reading, and it gives you a little bit about who this person John Holland is. So a very, really, really, really informative book. Lots and lots of information. I have probably underlined practically every word that is coming over here. So it's something that will take you to a higher level of understanding and just get you in touch with your psychic part of your spirit. It gets you in touch with your higher self, I think, knowing how the energies are playing out in your life by looking at this. So the book itself, extremely helpful, very, very nice to, easy to carry around. I must have taken this everywhere I went, I think. And you can see it's really, really well worn. but I really, really enjoyed reading it. So it was very easy reading as well, nothing heavy, very insightful. So the deck itself, like I said, it comes in these gold gilded edges, and it's got this sort of I'd say purple background with this fractal river on the back of it. And they're really, really good cardstock. Very, very good. They've got a glossy finish to it, as you can see. Nice and glossy. And they're easy to shuffle. They don't slide all over the place. They're really nice to handle. So I'll start off with the major Arcana cards. I'm not going to compare this to the Rider-Waite because it is just so different from the Rider-Waite in a sense that, you know, it's not got quite that kind of imagery, but it's got imagery in it that is very different and very easy to access. So this is the Fool card, and you've got your, let's just take this out. So you've got your major Arcana cards from the Fool to the Universe. Then you've got your Chakra cards here, and that goes from 1 to 7, and these are all colored. You can see a red, yellow, orange, green, blue, indigo, and this is like sort of a pinkish kind of color on the crown chakra. And then you've got the minor Arcana, which I told you has nine cards in it, so it's just missing out from 10 to King, but this will do because the minor Arcana usually tells you about the daily lessons that we're going through, so this is pretty good. So it's all color coordinated here. So you've got the red that is talking about, you know, it's got the earth suit that is associated with it. So the pentacles, different kind of coloring, and the cups here is green. And then you've got the rods or the wands suit, which is sort of a purplish kind of color. And you've got the swords, which is like an indigo kind of color going through it. And that's ruling, you know, mental, and this is all the passions, and this is your emotions, and this is all your material wealth or whatever happens to you materialistically in the world. So with the major Arcana cards, you've got, this is the Fool, which is being retitled as New Beginnings, and what you can see, it's very the drawings are so easy to look at. You know, you can see somebody taking a walk you know, onto the earth, taking a chance, and New Beginnings, because it's got this new titles at the bottom, it makes it easy for you to read. You don't really have to go and read the book extensively to know that if you pull this card out, that you're going to be facing a new beginning. The numerology is pretty clear over here, and he does give you a rundown of the numerology in the deck itself, so whatever the numbers mean. So this would be the Fool card. Then you've got awareness coming in as your Magician card, and intuition as the High Priestess. You know, it's got all the elements in it. If you look at it and you look at the name of it, you know exactly what to do. And you've got fertility as being the Empress, authority as being the Emperor, the Hierophant is wisdom, harmony as being the Lovers, the Chariot is triumph, power as being the Strength card. Beautifully done, you know, where you're accessing your inner strength. So you've got this man's face, and you know, an old man with a lot of wisdom and a lot of mental power. So that's beautifully done. And you've got the Hermit card. You know, you can see the studying and sitting alone. So all the elements are there from the traditional major Arcana card. You've got the Wheel of Fortune as being the destiny. You do see the Wheel of Fortune there. And then you've got the Justice card, which comes as 11, the Balance. Sacrifice card, which would be your Hanged Man. But it's got a different kind of a look to it. But that in itself gives you a different kind of view about what the hangman is. You know, you don't have to be parroting off the hangman definition of the hangman, you know, waiting for something to happen. You can see that, you know, there is the sacrifice to be made. So this is a transformation, which is your death card, but it's so beautifully done. You know, you would never associate that with the death card in itself. And that's exactly what the Death card means, transformation. So you've got Patience as your Temperance card. You've got the Devil card, which is talking about temptation. You know, people get very scared when they see the Devil card, but that's exactly what it is. It's just temptation. You know, you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. So beautifully done. And, you know, not images that are going to upset you for seeing them. You've got the Disruption card, which is actually the Tower card. And, you know, that's so nicely put. It is something that's going to cause some sort of disruption that is going to be happening in your life with this Tower card. Then you've got the Star card as being hope. You've got the Shadow card as being the moon. And the Sun card would be the light card over here. And you can see all of that coming in. And you've got the Judgment card, which is the Truth card. And finally the World card, which is the universe. And this is the picture that is on the front of the box, if you see. So I think the retitlement of the Major Arcana is so much better, you know, than the traditional way of the way the Major Arcana has been labeled. And also it allows you now to be reading these cards differently from just reading it in the traditional way, the traditional Rider-Waite deck. So it allows you to access your inner psychic ability quite easily when you have these new titles on it. So it's got the chakra cards as well, which is 7 chakra cards. And like I said, it gives you an idea in the book as to what each and every chakra is, and you know, how to work through it. So you know, there's nothing on the card itself, but it just tells you there's base chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the sacral chakra, the heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye chakra, and your crown chakra. And when these cards appear in the spread itself, it tells you where you need to work and focus your energy on. And the book tells you exactly how you should go about doing the meditation, or what meditations you should be doing to actually clear that chakra thing. So I think that's very, very important, especially when you're facing crisis in your life and you want to know why things are not moving forward. Why isn't abundance coming? Why am I getting ill? Why can't I do things? Why is this job not coming to me? So when you see the chakra that is blocked, you know this is what I should be focusing on. So for personal growth, it's really, really invaluable. So the actual suits itself, this is, you know, this reddish kind of bordered. So the suits are bordered in a color coded, and I told you they go from 1 to 9. But they also have got titles at the bottom, so you don't have to go in and start reading the book whenever you see the first, you know, the card. It already tells you, and the imagery itself is so easy to read, so useful. You know, you can actually just look at the imagery itself without actually even reading the book. Some people just throw the book away and read the imagery on the cards, and it's right. You know, there's nothing wrong in the tarot. You know, it can bring you easy access to your spiritual gifts itself. Everybody has spiritual gifts. So the first card is Prosperity Begins, and this would be like the Ace of Pentacles, when you know you're planting a seed and something is growing, and you can see that in this card. And then you've got 2 Movement, Choices, and Decisions. The 3 is Recognition, Reward. The 4 is a Firm Foundation, and you can see it's highlighting this sacral kind of chakra thing. 5 is Financial and Material Changes that come in. We're always reading the 5 of Pentacles. It's a very negative card, but with this card it is showing that, you know, it's a positive kind of thing. So I like the take on this card. It's not heavy, and it's giving you hope, and that's what you really need. And 6 is Material and Spiritual Prosperity. 7 is Patience and Planning. 8 is Positive Movement Forward. And 9 is Material Harvest. So just what you need. The minor arcana tell you about daily lessons that you will be doing, or you need to do, daily things that you need to do, or daily energies. And these are the things that you can change. So this one represents it pretty well. So this is the Cups suit, or similar to the Cup suit. And it's got a green border over here, and it shows this really nice Ace of Cups with something new coming in. But it's called Love Begins. And then you've got Spiritual Union, which is the 2 of Cups. You can see that's so beautifully done. The 3 of Cups, which is Rejoice and Celebration. The 4 of Cups, you know, boredom and discontent. So it's telling you exactly what that card is about, but you can read in extra meanings to the card itself. The 5 of Cups usually is emotional loss, but it is showing you the hope of it as well. The Six of Cups is choosing wisely. The Seven of Cups is, your emotional, the Seven of Cups is choosing wisely. The Eight of Cups is emotional withdrawal. The Nine of Cups is fulfillment of wishes. So that's the wish fulfillment card. So really beautifully done. And then you've got the Rods suit, which is in this purple kind of border, which is the one, or the Ace of Rods, passion ignited. 2 is the waiting game. 3 is partnerships and alliances. 4 is foundation and achievements. 5 is obstacles and challenges. 6 is victory and success. 7 is stand your ground. 8 is accelerated motion. And 9 is spiritual strength. And then you've got the last suit, which is the Swords suit, which is in this indigo kind of color, which says triumphant success, mental conflict. You can see yourself fighting with yourself here. Heartache and loss. The Three of Swords is the heartache and loss card anyway. 4 of Swords, rest and rejuvenation. 5 of Swords, conflict and defeat. 6 of Swords, moving on. 7 of Swords, deception and envy. 8 of Swords, trapped in fear. And 9 of Swords, suffering in silence. So it really gives you all the minor arcana that is very, very necessary. Really speaking, the 10 of Swords to the King of Swords is really not part of the lessons. They're more, people that you deal with or endings of situations. So this is very, very adequate, very, very complete. You don't really need those cards to give you those messages. So this is a really, really good deck to start, if you want to start reading intuitively as opposed to really following a very structured Rider-Waite system. But if you have the Rider-Waite system under your belt, this is also an excellent, excellent deck to actually enhance whatever information and knowledge you have. And with this addition of the chakra cards, it really is very important to understand how the energies are playing out in your life as opposed to just reading whatever it says. So you can actually just pick up this deck, give it a shuffle, and start reading and laying out the cards. They've, like I said in the book, they talk about the different spreads of the cards. So you are dealing with, see here, it is talking about the different card spreads. So you can go through them quite easily, and if you pick them up, you know exactly what you should be working on. Distant past, past, present, immediate future, and distant future. So easy to read, easy to just pick a card on a daily basis. And it also, like I said, they spoke about numerology here, so this is really good, so you understand exactly what it goes through, all the different colors of the that's involved within the deck itself, because it's a very, very colorful deck. And then it speaks about all the numerology and what it means when you pick up a number. So, I mean, if you want to really go into in-depth about the colors and the actual numbers, it's all here. All the information is here. But what I find really, really invaluable is the fact that all of the cards have got titles at the bottom. And, you don't have to be a person who has been reading for years and years and years, or if you're somebody that's, has given up the tarot for a long time and you want to come back into reading it, this is a really good deck to start off with. Especially, it starts accessing your intuition, it starts accessing, the old lessons that you may have learned about the tarot. So you can easily bring yourself up to standard and up to scratch by reading this deck, without it being too much of an effort. Because, if a lot of people, they find that, if they have to put on too much of effort into something, they lose interest. I know I do. If it takes too much of mental energy, I just can't be bothered after that, and I walk away from it. Because if I don't understand something and it's not easy, I tend to lose interest. Also, I love the colors of it. So if it's not colorful, I also just get a bit bored, and I like decks where there's a lot of energy in it. You can feel the energy in the colors. You can feel the conflict and the desperation here, and the defeat, like in the Five of Swords here. But what's nice is that without even knowing anything about the tarot, if I look at this particular card as if I pick this card off the deck, then I know there's conflict and defeat coming up, or that's been going on around me. So I don't have to be a seasoned tarot reader to actually read this deck. It's something that's very easy. And with this chakra cards in it, it's going to tell me where I need to meditate and what I need to concentrate on, and what is being blocked. So really good to actually just do a reading if you're just in a bit of a if you're learning the tarot, or if you're in a bit of a rut and you want to know quick have a quick idea about what's going on. Me personally, I don't like to read tarot cards for myself. I find that I prefer it if other people read it for me, because it's a more objective way of looking at the tarot. On a daily basis, it is good to probably draw one card to give you an idea about what's going on for your day. Like a card of spiritual strength will tell you, that's where you're going to be focusing all your energies on, what you can concentrate on. But if I wanted an in-depth reading, I don't tend to ask. I don't tend to read the decks myself. I tend to get a reading done for myself, because it's more objective, and I'm more likely to see the importance of each card as it falls if somebody else is reading it for me, and take their advice, as opposed to me just picking cards out of the deck and saying, I should be doing this, and then I just will ignore it. Well, that's just me anyway. But this is an excellent deck to read, and an excellent deck to help. If you're a starter, I think it's a wonderful way to start your tarot journey. Especially if you're not somebody who wants to go down the Rider-Waite, or go down into very in-depth tarot decks where they cost a lot, and they're not going to give you. You're going to have to do so much work in order for you to get answers. This is a deck that is, because it's partly oracle, it gives you the answers very, very quickly, and because it's so nicely presented in this kit kind of way, in a nice box, you can carry it around. The book is quite small, it's easy to read, the language in it is very, very clear. It comes with all its little pictures on it. The deck itself is so beautifully colored. It's exciting to read it. It's an exciting deck to read, and the book's very, very easy to read, and it allows you to connect with the energies very, very quickly. There's sometimes when you're working with decks, tarot decks that are difficult, you can't connect with the energy of the card very, very quickly. Sometimes you have to spend hours or days, or sometimes people spend years with a deck in order to connect with them. And sometimes they don't connect at all with the deck. I have had decks that I've not connected at all with, and I just, have abandoned them. But this deck was easy to connect with, and it was easy to read from, and it was colorful and exciting, and it really read well, and it gave me really good answers. So I hope that this deck review has been helpful to you, and will help you on your tarot journey. So I will be putting the deck in the links to Amazon and eBay in the description box. It's quite widely available, and it's not going to break the bank. It's quite cheap, actually. If you really want the deck, and you don't want to spend the money as full price on it and buying it new, they sell it on eBay as a second-hand deck, and it's quite easy. It's accessible. It's not one of those out-of-print decks that's going to be difficult and cost you the earth. It's quite easy to get a hold of, and well worth buying. I found that it just jump-started my reading, and well worth getting. So I hope that you found this helpful, and thank you so much for watching this deck review, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care now. Goodbye.